I wrapped my head around 1933 now. I get it. I had a map that was calling it 1933 Old Mill Fund. From what it said inside, it was an old cattle stockyard. We'll walk inside and I'll show you the grate that they walked up and down, the textured ramp for their hooves. I've been to something like this in Dallas or Fort Worth, Texas, at the stockyards. So now it's a industrial cum art space, of which there are several in Shanghai. Yesterday I was at Red Town, and I've been to M50 Power Station of Art. The whole area around the expos getting turned into different things, and what else? There's probably more than half a dozen. I went to 798 in Beijing last week. This is the conference center. So I think this one's billing itself more as like, today I was at the Bridge 8 actually earlier. Tianzifang as well. It's another little artsy area. Shintandi I was at a few nights ago. You can see it's Art Deco architecture. It looks like cement actually that they've used. A very coarse cement. So that's the conference building. I went to Hulian Road. I was trying to remember if I've been in this area before. I know I was on Hulian Road. I recognize that. There was a market I went to on it. And then I went to the Chipu Mall, where a lot of locals shop, and up by the North Sichuan Commercial Street, up to Dulin Road, Culture Street, and all that stuff. Up by Lushan Park I've done before. So they've got 5 floors here, but most of this stuff is not galleries for foot traffic, you know. It's stuff like Ferrari Owners Club of China, or if you're planning a wedding. I went to a wedding planning office. And then there's, it's like very dystopian. Bill Maher made a post about, in 2017 it'll be the year Blade Runner was set, and so we've only got a couple years now to get robots that'll have sex with us. So and last night I was reading a GQ article about So Dalian, which is one of the big events they have had, So Hunan and all that stuff, for the rich millionaires, 60,000 millionaires in China and several hundred billionaires. They'll surpass the United States soon, and they want to sell them jets, private jets and super yachts, teach them how to spend their money based on a Western model. And it was talking about the contrast between in Dalian, between what was there. It's a city of 6 million people, but I don't think it has a lot of ritzy architecture. So you see stuff like this, a Formula One bar and gallery. Inside, here's the cattle, where the cattle would walk. They put these in so their hooves wouldn't slip. The cattle path. There's a restaurant upstairs with a bull. Kind of looks like the one on the Bundin on Wall Street by the same, I think it's an Italian sculptor who did it. Symbol of economic prosperity. A bull market, first bear market. So there's a couple factories I wanted to swing around. I don't know what little creek we're on here. Pull out my map in a second and show you where we are. Maybe I'll walk up towards Dulin Street. It's 4 o'clock, not much else I could do today. I switched hostels. I was staying at a friend's. She came back from Cambodia, and I'm over now at the Blue Mountain Hostel, one of the top-rated hostels in Shanghai, over at Beijing, Donglu, and Shanxi, Nanlu. So we're about 32,500 square meters. Sculpted concrete ramps, air bridges, flowering, columns, spiral staircases. Creative driven tenants and events. There's some cool photos to take up on the second floor. You can watch my last video. Gonna lay down my heavy load. It's 4:20. Down by the riverside. So I walked down here out of exit 1. It was exit 2. Yeah. Took line 10 up. Today I went to the Shanghai Post Museum. I don't know what the fuck's going on with their third floor roof garden. Still not done a year later. Need to get their act together on that one. And the Rock Bund is closed for the whole month. So I don't know what this little creek is here. I probably did it one time, now I've forgotten. This district is BY Tun. This is Wei Tan Yuan. So, I've already done all this stuff over here by the synagogue. So I remember Chipu Market and all that stuff was somewhere kind of around this area to Sichuan. I think I'll walk Heilun to Sichuan and then Dulin Road up towards Lushan Park just for shits and giggles. It sounds very weird, but it's actually frustrating to know that I've walked that and I don't have a map of exactly where it is and what's there. When I went back to Beijing, I was only in Beijing in September, and now I was there back for Christmas. So maybe 3 months later, but you forget stuff, especially when you're traveling in between and doing other projects. And you come back, and you're like, okay, vaguely remember, my sense of direction might be off by a block or two. What exit did I take? And if you're diligent about doing that stuff, I kind of like traveling without internet. So you're not fucking around with text all day. And you mark that shit off, and then you walk away with a very nice little souvenir of everything you did. And then when you go back, it saves you mucho tempo. So I don't know what this little creek is here. That's probably why they had this industrial stuff located here, because of the source of water for transportation and manufacturing, industrial processes. Maybe even had a water wheel, who knows? If there was a mill, they certainly probably had a water wheel. If I walk around this way, you'll see the smokestack. So I don't know what they got going on over here. Looks like a restaurant, maybe. Shanghai is tolerable in the winter. Your hands will get cold, like right now my hand's freezing making the video. But I could do it for 10 minutes and stick it back in my pocket. Not like Beijing where it was just like ridiculously uncomfortable. You had to wear gloves.